Hello, this is Hugh. I've been away from the camera for a little while. Had some back problems. I'm feeling a little better now. Anyhow, today I'd like to talk about this X450 VTOL. Stands for vertical takeoff and landing. It's a 3 brushless motors. Flies in quad mode or multi-rotor mode, or this motor shuts off. These can tilt forward, which is all done with a remote, and you can fly it in airplane mode. You can also fly it suspended like this, but from what I've seen, that's kind of like a kite. If the wind's blowing, it's not really going to do you much good. It's kind of a novelty thing, but I guess it's kind of neat. But anyhow, this runs about 130, 129, 130 if you buy it, locally, or in the States. Amazon.com, whatever, you might find it on sale, but I've noticed it usually around 129. On Banggood, I believe it was right around $100, so it's a little bit cheaper, but it takes a little longer to get there. But anyhow, what I really like about this, I've been flying helicopters this year, and I just started this late this summer, and I really enjoyed it. It's been a real challenge, but when the wind's blowing, I can't really fly them because they just don't stand up to the wind very well, especially if you're a newer RC pilot like myself. So I got this basically to fly around the yard and stuff, and occasionally take it to I got an old abandoned baseball field where I fly sometimes. But I fly it in quad mode, level like an airplane, but it's definitely in multi-rotor mode. It's a little bit slower, easier for me to keep up with it. So the other thing I want to say about, now this was a ready to fly package. So I got the plane, battery included. And like I say, it comes with 3 brushless motors. You have 3 props on here. You get an extra 3 props for it. You get a charger for the battery. You get this pretty decent transmitter here. Got the LCD screen and the typical controls for any kind of RC plane or helicopter. Anyhow, like I say, you get the battery charger, you get an owner's manual, the spare props, the transmitter, the plane itself. What you don't get is the AAA batteries for the transmitter, and that's more of a shipping issue. See, they don't have a problem including the battery for the plane because that's installed in the unit, which puts it in a different category for shipping. But the 6 AA batteries not only add weight to the shipping, but it also complicates the shipping because they don't want them installed in a transmitter in case they start to leak or something. So most of the time when you buy something order something from China, and sometimes locally as well, a lot of times you're going to have to buy the batteries because of that reason. So they're not trying to be cheap, it's just something that they have to do it that way. So today I'm going to kind of give you a quick demonstration on this, and I will be flying it only in multi-rotor mode. But I'd like to say too, a lot of people say that, if you buy this brand, the parts are accessible, and insinuating that with the Chinese maybe they won't be. I crashed this really hard about a month or so ago and locked up one of the servos for the motor tilt on the front. And I went online just to see if I could find it. It took probably less than 5 minutes to locate it. I ordered the servo. I didn't think I'd be able to fix it, but I thought for $7 I'll take a chance. And I got lucky. I was able to actually replace the servo. And I also, there's some tape that covers these wires back here. I also took the tape that was on there, is this semi-clear tape, and it was all peeling off and sand sticks to it and whatnot. So I replaced that with what they call gaffer's tape, and that's holding a whole lot better. Not perfect, but a whole lot better. So also I cracked both of these wing tips at the winglet, I like to call them. They were fractured, loose, never broke off completely, but I ordered some foam glue to put in those cracks, and that worked beautifully. It's still flexible, but obviously not broken anymore. So that's kind of neat. So they are repairable, and I'm not a very skilled at repairing RCs, and my vision's not even very good, so it's really not that as tough as you might think. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube too, and that's always really helpful, of course. So anyhow, the last time I tried to do this, I stood too close to the camera, behind the camera with the transmitter and beaming to the RC craft, and that was creating all kinds of feedback on the recording. So I'm going to try to be careful this time. Hopefully that won't happen. So anyway, I'll get this thing on the ground here, and I'll fly it around a little bit, try to keep it in front of the camera for you, and see how it goes. As you can see, the wind took it backed into that fence down there, and that's okay, because that's going to happen from time to time, especially when you're inexperienced like myself. So I'll go get the plane and we'll see how it made out. Okay, the only real damage I'm seeing right now is on this flap right here. There's a little stress crack right there. That'll be a really easy fix with the foam glue, which works really great, by the way. And it did back into the fence, and it seems to stand up to those kind of collisions fairly well. So everything on the bottom, as far as I can tell, looks pretty good. Lights are still on, so we've still got battery. Oh, by the way, these flash when you're losing power, so it gives you a little bit of a warning that it's time to land. And I probably shouldn't have been flying this because it's really windy out here today. So, but other than that, it seems like it's just fine. I put a little red sticker on the nose, so when it's off in a distance, I can spot that it's pointing towards me a little better. I actually want to get a little strobe light for that if I can find one. If you know of somebody that makes a tiny strobe, preferably self-contained, that I can, with like a little watch battery in it or something, that I could actually attach to the front of this, let me know in the comments, because that'd be really helpful to me. So here's where your battery goes, right in there. This canopy has a little lip that goes down there in the front, and it snaps in the back. Pretty simple stuff. But yeah, I wish it had been quite so windy today, because This does really fly well in the wind, but I'm not accustomed to flying and talking to the camera at the same time, so I'm still kind of new at all this, both the filming and the flying. So, but I will tell you this, for from $100 to $130, this X450 ready to fly package, you can't beat it. This thing is a ton of fun for the money. It's very repairable. The parts are available so far. I haven't had any trouble getting parts for it yet.